the 1869 Seated Liberty half dollar. This is a coin that was minted in Philadelphia. There were just under 800,000 made this year. This particular example is a VG10, showing just a little bit of detail in Liberty's shield here, but most of the features are fairly worn. The surfaces are exhibiting very good originality. Normally, if a coin like this had been dipped or wiped, you would have a lot brighter surfaces. So you see kind of the dark coloration of the surfaces, and this nice natural looking coin. Not an expensive date in this condition, although it is noted that in higher mint state this is a really hard coin to find. So I think this is one of those examples that, you know, enough were made that a lot survived, probably about several thousand. PCGS is graded 400 and NGC is graded about 1700, so just right there, there's at least a few thousand examples. You know, some of that might be cross grading, but it's probably one that just wasn't saved in higher grade. People weren't really thinking about collecting half dollars at that time, and the few that survived were more or less by chance. So this coin is a with motto. You know, anything post 1866 will have the "In God We Trust" above the eagle. The reverse shows nice original surfaces as well, and good detail in the shield and the feathers. You'll see, you know, some wear starting right there in the higher points, but overall, really nice reverse on this coin. A really wholesome VG, probably one that, you know, if it had a little more detail on the obverse, would be close to fine. Pricing on these coins in the VF range is about $200. XF is probably $350 plus, and then AU, you know, $400, $500 plus. And mint state, you get over 1,000 pretty quickly. Just not too many survived in that condition. You know, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of, you know, several hundred or less coins. The guidebook for seated coinage, you know, shows some surviving estimates. It does say they're common in circulated grades and higher. But overall, you know, not a date that is too difficult. You can see pricing a little bit low. I mean, I said several hundred for VF, so I think this coin is comfortably doubled in pricing. You know, until you get to, you know, the mint state 63. I mean, it's probably close to doubled. But what I'm seeing as a general trend is a lot of these common dates have doubled in the VF XF range in price, and then they start to kind of slow down. I mean, no doubt it'd be hard to find one under 1,000 in mint state, but they probably have more like added 50% to their mint state prices since this was written in 2016. But yeah, I went for a VG coin here. This one was about $115. I felt like the nice original surfaces and just a wholesome example. You know, if you're putting together the whole series of half dollars, there's quite a few dates that are going to be multiple hundreds of dollars in this condition. So you might want to pick for these easier coins. If you find a nice example, you might want to have a lower grade and just use that money for some of the tougher Carson Cities and early San Francisco mint marked coins. And these surfaces, again, when I show some of my other pieces that are in lower circulated grades, you'll see the look on this kind of darkness to the fields, and that really is a nice original example. And I think when you're looking at survivability, there are a lot smaller slice of that surviving population that are like this, where they have not been dipped or cleaned. too much. So 1869 is a kind of interesting date too, and just in the history. Grant took over as president earlier in the year, and Transcontinental Railroad was finished. So you see a shift from transportation in terms of canals were big in the 1830s and 40s, and then you get into rail as we get into the Civil War, and that just continues to accelerate. The West starts to really open up when that happens. A lot more people flowing into that part of the country. So the recovery from the Civil War is still happening. Maybe not really a recovery at this point. Still, just coming to grips with what happened and trying to come back together as a country that's just tired of years of fighting at this point. So I'm enjoying this part of the series. I only have a couple examples so far from this decade, but 69 is a pretty a good year to find. 68 is a tough Philly mint, and some of the earlier 60s as well. 1870 is about the same as this one in terms of survivability, so shouldn't have too much trouble finding a 1869. Just want to I'd recommend to find one with a nice original look to it and don't overpay.